Say Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, friends. Good morning. I know you guys are watching this in the future, so I pray that you guys had a great Thanksgiving with your family and your friends. It's time to start cooking, girl. I was supposed to get up at 6, but it just wasn't happening, girl. It's 7:57, it's almost 8 o'clock. So the first thing that I like to do is to take out my ingredients for my pound cake. Now, these have to get room temperature, so I'll probably let these sit out for about 2 to 3 hours. I'm also gonna let the heavy whipping cream sit out too, because I need a cup of that. So I'm gonna do that because that'll be the last thing that I make today. Usually in the past, I make it like first thing in the morning if I leave it out overnight. I know, it sounds crazy to leave out heavy whipping cream overnight, but I've done it many, many times and it comes out just fine. But I didn't last night, girl, because listen, I got as much as I could done as I could. I was spending time with my girls. It was like my day with them. And so, I did a little bit, and I'll share here the stuff that I did yesterday. All right, it is the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna start off with 5 boxes of Jiffy. Yes, I put Jiffy cornbread in my cornbread dressing. I'm not a true Southerner. You could probably tell by the way I talk, I'm not a true Southerner, but we do like Jiffy in our cornbread. So I make 3 for the sausage cornbread that I make, and then 2 for the chicken sausage because my dad and my sister do not eat pork. So let me go ahead and make those. All right, so my cornbread is done. I used my toothpick to stick it in. So I have 5 of them. The other 2 are on the stove. So now I'm gonna start shredding my cheese to get ready to make my mac and cheese. So I'm boiling my water for my mac and cheese. Now that my cornbread's done, I used 1 of these organic chicken stocks. This is 32 ounces. And then I added water to this. I filled it up mostly, probably up to about right where my thumb is, of water. Added it in here because it's gonna give the noodles a little bit of flavor. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this boil, and then I'm going to put in a whole box, 1 pound elbow macaroni. And I'm going to boil this until it's al dente, which is about 7 minutes. Okay, so here's my shredding station. I know it's a mess, but I like to just shred on this baking sheet, and then I put it in here so that it stays nice and moist and doesn't get dried up or anything. In here I have about, I would say 2.5 to 3 cups of the aged sharp cheddar that I got from Costco. I have about 2 cups of the smoked Gouda, and I have 2 cups of the Colby Jack cheese. Ava likes cheese. The sharp cheddar is good, isn't it, baby? So yeah, that's all my cheese. And then I also have some Velveeta to add in as well. So I have a cold stick of butter that I just took out the fridge and I cut it up. So once the because you kind of have to move quickly, so that's why I like to have everything prepared, so that as soon as the 7 minutes is up on the timer, I drain it and then I put everything in the pan while the noodles are still hot. So I cut this up so it's easier to like spread, so that I can just drop them in there, mix it up. I'll add the cheese, my sour cream and everything right as soon as the 7 minutes is up. So I got my Velveeta cheese here. I'm only gonna use half of this, so I'm gonna cut you know, this in half and then cube it, so that'll be ready to be dropped into the hot noodles as well. Okay, so 7 minutes is up, so I'm gonna immediately cut this off and drain it. And then once it's drained, I'm not gonna rinse it off or anything. You just drain it really well and then put it back in the hot pan. Okay, first thing I'm gonna add is my butter and my sour cream. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. The sour cream, I literally just take a spoon like this and put a big dollop in there. I'd say it's about a half a cup. Okay, so sorry, I couldn't film because I have to work fast, girl. So in here I seasoned it with white pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of salt, not a lot of salt because the chicken stock has salt in it. And then so you taste it, and it has the 2 cups of half and half in here. Taste it before you put your beaten egg in here, because how it tastes now is how it's going to taste once it's cooked. So if you like it, go ahead and beat like 2 or 3 eggs and pour it in, and then you're set and ready to go. But if you need to add anything, you want to add it in now. Okay, added my 3 eggs. I buttered my pan, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in and put it in the fridge because it's ready to go. There we have it. So now I'm going to put foil on top of this and let this cool all the way completely, and then put it in the fridge. So tomorrow all I have to do is bake it. Okay, before I get started for today, I'm definitely going to empty my dishwasher, put the dishes in the sink, put these clean dishes away so that you know, as I'm cooking, I could just put them in the dishwasher. Okay, this is how much celery and onion I have for both pans of the pork sausage dressing and chicken sausage dressing. So the pork sausage dressing will be a little bit bigger than the chicken sausage dressing. So I would say this is about a cup of each. And so, but if you're only making one pan, I would do maybe 3/4 cup of each, or a cup of each. You know, I don't have an exact measurement for my dressing. A lot of people ask me every single year, but I don't. So I'm just going to estimate that this is about a cup each. So I'm going to use a whole stick of garlic and herb Kerrygold butter. I love this stuff, and I'm going to saute these for a while. I'm going to make sure they're nice and the onions are translucent, the celery is nice and tender, because I don't want it to be crunchy in the dressing. So it's going to take a while for it to really cook down. Just cook it down on like a medium heat. Watch it, of course, don't burn it or anything. And you'll know when it's ready if you try to stick a fork in the celery and it easily slides in. To my onions and celery, I'm going to put sage and poultry seasoning. Now, I'm very particular to this brand of sage and poultry seasoning. I just think it tastes really, really good. To me, not all sage is created equal. And then I have some black pepper and then some fresh ground black pepper. And that's all I'm going to put in the onions and celery. Okay, the star of the show, the star of the dressing is this Jimmy Dean sage sausage. I always use the Jimmy Dean brand, flavored with sage. It just makes the dressing absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna make this whole entire, I've also done a half sage, half hot if you like a little spice, but my girls don't like spice, so even though they don't even eat the dressing, but neither does my mom. So I'm gonna cook this entire package. All right, so I'm like really chopping this up fine because you want it to be in every bite of your sausage dressing. You don't want to burn it, you're just browning it until none of the pink is there. Okay, so I'm about to make myself some homemade breadcrumbs. I have a plain loaf of white bread here. I'm gonna chop them all up in cubes, then season them and roast them in the oven. Okay, so I drizzled these with olive oil, and then I seasoned them with the salt, with the, not salt, but the black pepper, the sage, and the poultry season, and I mixed it around and I did it again. Now I'm gonna bake these. Again, I'm making 2 pans of dressing. So if you are only making half, or if you are only making 1 pan, you can probably use half of these or 3/4 of the pan. Again, it depends on how much dressing you're making. Don't walk away from these because it's cooked really fast. So it's only been about 6 minutes. So now I'm gonna use a spatula and turn them around. These bake for another couple of minutes. I baked them at 350 degrees, probably for a total of about 10 minutes, but you need to check them every couple of minutes. Keep flipping them so that they get brown on each side. So after these couple of minutes, this will be it. Now, I'm going to peel my sweet potatoes for my candy yams.
My sous chef has done a good job in preparation of my stuffing, but this is how it'll look when they have been in the oven and they're ready to come out.
All right, so I'm about to assemble my dressing. Like I said, I'll probably use half of this, all of this, and then 3 cornbreads. Those 2 are gonna be for my dad and my sister for their chicken sausage, and half of that, and then the other half of the breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna do this in layers. So I'm gonna cube up 1 cornbread, add 1/3 of the chicken of the pork sausage, and then add 1/4 of the onions and celery, and then 1/4 of the breadcrumbs, and I'll keep doing that and adding chicken stock at the same time. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of these herb seasoned Pepperidge Farm just for the seasoning in it. We'll see. I'll see, because once you taste it while it's dry. However, taste it while you're mixing it up. However it tastes is how it's gonna taste once it's cooked. So we'll see. Okay, so this is the first layer. Stop screaming, girls. I added some seasoning, a little bit of herbs seasoning, and so I'm gonna pour 1 32-ounce box of chicken stock. Well, pour it slowly and mix it, pour it slowly and mix it. I'll show you the consistency it needs to be. Okay, that's how I cube my cornbread. So I know it looks like mush, but just keep adding the layers. A layer of cornbread, a layer of sausage, a layer of onions and celery, and a little bit of breadcrumbs, and it's gonna all come together so good. Then add seasonings with each layer. Start tasting it. It's like, that's why it's hard for me to write this recipe down, because you just have to kind of, it depends on how much you're making, and then you have to taste it as you go to see if it tastes good. Sorry, there's so much going on, but this is the last layer that I put in. Add your chicken stock slowly and keep mixing. Try to get because the liquid falls down to the bottom, so try to get the bottom parts up at the top, and then the parts that need to be soaked down at the bottom. Just keep mixing it, and I'll show you the consistency it needs to be before you put it in the pan. So when you can hear this, that's about the consistency you want it to be. Okay, just keep mixing around. Taste it right now. Everything's cooked in here, so you can taste it. Taste it and see how it tastes. That's how it's gonna taste when it's done. This tastes perfect to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put chop a stick of butter to lay in here. Just cube it, and then pour it in here. I'm gonna make my sisters and my dad's in here. This is what the butter looks like in the pan. I actually rubbed some butter around the sides and stuff too, and then I chopped a stick to put them in. Now I'm gonna pour it in. Okay, here we have it. Now, if you could do this, that's how you know it's the right consistency. If you can't do this, girl, it's too dry. Add a little bit more chicken stock. Now, if it's too soupy, either you can add more cornbread or just cook it for a longer time, because I'm gonna cook this at 350 for about 45 minutes until it's nice and brown, uncovered and everything. So this is ready to go. So my dad's gonna take this over to my mom so that we can bake it over there right before it's time to eat, as well as the mac and cheese that I made last night. Here is the chicken sausage that I'm gonna use for my dad and my sister. I'm gonna put a little butter in the pan because this is 60%. It's like, it's gluten-free. It doesn't have as much fat in it as a pork sausage does, and I will season this so that it's just as flavorful, and it's actually very good. I've tried it with the chicken sausage. It's very, very good with the way I make it. So let me go ahead and make it. Y'all, it is 11:20. I need to get this pound cake in the oven, but I am running out of steam. I need a cup of coffee. I have not had any coffee, and I'm like, I need a cup of coffee. I'm trying to like at least get my cake in and then sit down and have a cup of coffee, but maybe I should do that. Yeah, let's just do that. So I'm using cake flour, Swan's Down. It's the recipe on the back of the box of whipping cream pound cake. It is so good and so worth it. And so I have, everything's like room temperature now. My eggs, my heavy cream, and my butter right here. So I'm gonna start whipping. Okay, I sifted my flour, my 3 cups of flour in here. So this is ready to go. Let me go ahead and get my KitchenAid out and start whipping the butter and the sugar together. All right, I'm about to mix this bad boy up. Listen, if you do not have a high-powered mixer, I would not attempt this recipe. I tried it before with like a hand mixer, girl, and it was a struggle bus. So I probably just wasn't mixing it enough, but you have to mix it for a really long time if you do not have like a standing high-powered mixer. It doesn't have to be a KitchenAid, but if it's you know, a high-powered mixer, you're good to go. So let me go ahead and start creaming. This is 3 cups of sugar and 3 sticks of room temperature butter. Okay, so far I put 1 egg in. You have to put 1 egg at a time. I like to crack mine in a bowl and then slowly pour in 1 yolk at a time, and then you have to beat it really well until it's fully incorporated, and then do the next egg. Okay, all the eggs, butter, and sugar's in there. So now I'm gonna add the flour and the heavy whipping cream, 1 cup, and you want to put it in parts. You want to start with flour, then put milk, then flour, milk, then flour. So you start with flour and end with flour, and then also vanilla extract. So my pan is buttered and floured, and now I'm gonna pour it in. Okay, she's ready to go in the oven. 325 degrees for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours, so just keep an eye on it. Now for the candied yams, I am using Stovetop Kisses recipe. This is my first time using it. I've made some of her recipes before and they come out pretty good. I pray this comes out good. Sorry, the girls are watching a movie. I will leave a link in the description box to the recipe. Alright, y'all, the pound cake is done. Got a little bit more brown than I wanted to, but trust me, it's gonna taste delicious. And my pan overflowed. But baby, when I flip this baby over and I cut the outside off and drizzle some like a sugary icing on it, homemade icing on it, it's gonna be delicious. So now the candy yams, I don't know, because the ones at the top are not cooking like the ones at the bottom. So I don't know, I'm gonna take her word for it and not touch it and just keep cooking them. I'll let them cook until the chicken sausage is done, and then maybe I'll start searing them and I'll just take them in the pot to my mom's. But that's how the chicken sausage is looking. It's looking mighty good, girl. The dressing, the chicken in it. Not quite done yet though. This is what we want it to look like. It's perfectly brown. We have like almost like a crust on top, but the inside is very soft. You can feel that it's soft when you pat it. My bottom oven cooks a lot faster than my top oven, so this was in here for about 35 minutes, 40 minutes max at uncovered 350 degrees, and so this is perfect. So I'm gonna wrap this in foil. This is done. Wrap my cake in foil and then transport my candy yams. At my mom's, and my dad made this wonderful peach cobbler pop. Do you want to share with everybody how you made it? What? Just share with everybody how you made it, Pop. There's crust at the bottom.
Okay.
Right?
What you do is you take I'll read the recipe.
You combine two recipes, okay?
This recipe I took the flour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Recipe. That's the bottom crust. Is this the bottom crust recipe,
Yeah.
Pop? Okay.
What you do is you take a half a cup of butter.
Mm-hmm.
You melt it.
Right.
You take the dry ingredients, which is your flour,
Baking powder.
powder,
Salt and all that. Yep.
and you've combined it,
Yep.
and you put milk in it, and you make a solution.
It's old
You make
school,
the paste.
97. Southern living.
Then you pour that in the butter,
Bottom.
unmixed. You don't mix it.
Okay.
Then I took
Then you
this
took
part,
this recipe, deep dish peach cobbler. Okay.
and I took 2 cans of peaches. And I put the brown sugar on it.
All the spices, right?
All the spices.
And then you baked it.
Then I mixed it up and I heated it on the stove.
Okay.
And then once I heated it on the stove in a bubble, I poured it in on top of the
crust, the butter and stuff.
the mixture.
Right.
Then I took some ground pie shells, ground them up. That was pre-baked, ground them up.
Right.
And put them on the top.
Ooh, we can't wait to dig in. Mother, your homemade rolls look absolutely delicious. Do you want to share with everyone what your recipe is?
It's just 2 cups of dough.
And how long, what would you say this is, a medium, easy, intermediate, or hard to do?
Well, it's 2 cups of flour. I'd say it's pretty easy.
I don't know, Mother. For people who aren't used to hosting and trying to make homemade yeast rolls, it's a lot.
Flour, and then you use the rapid rising yeast and 1/4 cup of sugar.
How long does it take altogether?
Well, the longest is letting it rise, so it takes about an hour for it to rise at first. Then you punch it down, and then you form the rolls and you let it rise again for about a half an hour. Then you put it in the oven for 22 minutes.
Well, they look divine, Mother. Did you put a little butter on top here?
Yes.
You want me to taste it one?
No.
Mother, please. I'm so hungry. Please.
No.
Yes, Eva.
Don't beg.
My cake turned out absolutely beautiful. Even with their little, I call it little wings here at the tip here flying out. I just taste a little bit right here that was left. OMG, this is so good. So I'm gonna let this completely cool. Now it's still a little bit warm. Let it completely cool, and then I'll make a nice drizzle of icing to put on top. We got the turkey breasts ready. It smells so good. I stole a carrot and ate one. They taste so good. Everything else has a foil on it. We're gonna put the foil on this until my mom's ready to slice it. My sister is making vegan mac and cheese. Go ahead, sis. Tell everybody about the recipe.
Yeah, it's very simple, and I like personally, I'm not one that likes a whole lot of cheese with my mac.
No, you just like noodles with a sprinkling of cheese.
Okay, and so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper, and then I'll show you the cheeses that I use. If you guys are into vegan cheese, Dahlia cheese is horrible, but everybody that eats vegan cheese knows that. So my favorite cheese is the BioLife cheese. This is Life. I usually get the mozzarella, but unfortunately they were all out at Publix, so I got the yellow, and I'm going to mix it with Follow Your Heart. Follow Your Heart cheese is actually really good too, and this is a mozzarella. I'm doing both this
So
time.
you don't put any kind of, well, you can't use milk, so what?
No, I don't use milk because I have I'm lactose intolerant.
So you're gonna use what?
What I'm gonna show you guys what I'm gonna use is Ripple, but I use the half and half. Now there is a Ripple pea milk. I don't
That's
care for.
so
I
nasty.
love. No, this
Yeah, I've
is
had it.
like, because you can't taste this. This is equivalent to the half and half, a regular half and half. So I just pour a little bit in this,
Okay.
and it makes it really creamy and cheesy. And you guys will see it at the end.
Rubber thing. And this one, I'm just gonna put this in the oven.
Mom, it looks wonderful. Mother, it looks beautiful. Looks so good, Mother. Here's this. So you drained your noodles.
Yep.
And those are gluten-free penne pasta with organic brown rice. Okay. That's all the
Yeah, I'm just gonna put a
okay.
little bit in there because a little bit of
okay.
this goes a long ways.
All right. You like a nice dry mac and cheese.
Yeah, I don't like a whole lot of cheese, regardless if it's vegan or if it's real.
Right.
That's just no. if
You just
guys
like
wanna-
noodles with a little bit of cheese.
Well, it's better than having cheese and no mac.
It's okay, sis. If you want to dry
But
mac and
if
cheese,
you guys
dry
wanted
mac
to
and
use
cheese.
the whole bag, use the whole bag. But I'm just going by what I like.
Do you know about how much you're putting in there?
I just put maybe not even less than a quarter of a cup.
A quarter of a cup. Okay. And how much of the Ripple? About a tablespoon.
No, it's a little bit more than that. Don't be so dramatic. No, just screw it.
You might as well cut it, Mom, while you have it out.
What?
You might as well cut it while you have
do
it.
whatever you have to do.
You want it on the plate?
I
No.
put it back on and I put it back on low.
Well, okay. Do you put any seasoning in there?
Yes, I do. And I haven't done that yet. You
Sis.
see how that's... Yeah, but I try to mix it up first. Because you have to mix it and it starts getting thick. You see how that's starting to get thick and creamy? It's starting to melt. Very light here.
That's different. It's different.
Very, very good. You see that?
Okay.
And this is what I really enjoy about BioLife cheese. It melts so good.
And where do you buy that at?
Publix.
Publix.
Because
okay.
unfortunately
How much is
Kroger
it?
does not sell it. I think it's $4.99, I want to say, for this.
Okay.
But if you go to Whole Foods, they also sell it at Whole Foods, but they sell all kinds at Whole Foods. They sell more options there.
Okay.
So then what I start to do now is I put a little bit of pink Himalayan. Okay. Then a little bit of pepper. And I like pepper. I like my stuff a little bit spicy on the spicy
You should
side.
use white pepper.
Okay, well I'm not into white pepper, but whatever floats your boat. Now, as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit dry, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little bit more of the mozzarella in. Okay,
Okay.
like that.
You wanna look at?
And then I'm gonna
Come
add
on,
a little bit more of this. But you know what, I'm gonna tell you what my secret weapon is. Now, I don't know if this is what you guys do here. See? But I'm gonna show you guys my secret weapon. Hold one moment, please. A little
Okay,
more
sis,
ripple.
what is it? Yeah, because it was a
Because
little
it
dry.
was getting a little bit dry on the drier side. And so what I like to add in it is monk fruit sweetener. And I just add a little pinch to
You can
make
get that at Costco.
it sweet. I had ordered this on Amazon, but Gia said she found it at Costco. I put a little bit of pinch and maybe even two.
It's more than a pinch, sis.
Okay.
Okay.
And then what else I'm gonna add in here too, to just take it over the edge to the next level. Sis, can you get it out of the cabinet for the
What?
viewers, please?
What is it?
Red pepper, please. I'm gonna add, even though I can't really do spicy anymore, unfortunately, I'm still gonna add just a little bit, and that makes a world of difference. Would you like to try some?
Sure. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Very different. It's just one noodle instead.
One noodle? Good.
Cheers.
I could use a little more sugar, right? Just a little bit more sugar. Alright, not a problem. It's time for correction. Put a little more salt in there. Right? Okay, it's good, right? It is.
Okay.
Right?
Woo! All right. Well, sis, I'm gonna stick to my mac and cheese. That is definitely different. It's definitely unique. I'll put it that way. It's unique. If you need something to help that.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my black lava salt in here that I got from Iceland, from my travels to Iceland. And it's really strong, so you just need a couple of pinches, and once I mix it in there, it should give it the kick that it needs, and also the oregano. Okay, would you like to try it?
No, I'm not trying any more of that, sis, because it's actually, it's still, the taste is still on my tongue. It's not good. My candy yams are finally done.
Good. It smells.
And it took a long time, way longer than she said in the video. But I'll explain to you guys later because we're getting ready to eat. The table looks so nice. Sister set it up. And then the girls wanted their own little table, so it's cute. Okay, we got our greens, the mac and cheese, my mom's homemade rolls, the sausage dressing, the chicken sausage dressing, turkey ham. My candy yams look absolutely beautiful. Turkey ham, some beets that my mom made, some gravy, turkey, and potato salad. Yum! I just want to show you guys the consistency of my mac and cheese. It is so cheesy and it's not dry in the center. Also, see my dressing? See how soft it is on the inside? That's how you want it to be. Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside. Same with the chicken dressing. The girls just found Nino and Josie, the elves that come over here to watch them at Nana's house. They just saw them.
I think Jack or Paula.
Yeah, Jack and Paula are the elves that come to our house. Whew, I brought my bonnet over to my mom's. Just in case I wanted to lay down. I didn't get a chance to though.
Put the pajamas on.
I will. My sister just gave me this turmeric facial. I don't know about it. Yeah, Hubby and I are about to go home. Praise the Lord, the kids are spending the night here. Woo! Cause girl, I'm tired. I know my face is red because she made me keep it on for so long. It's the vegan mac and cheese. It just makes her go nuts. All right, y'all, so we are back home. Charles and I'm so tired, but we are about to Netflix and chill and enjoy the rest of our evening. Leave a comment down below and let me know, how was your Thanksgiving? If you celebrate Thanksgiving, what did you have to eat? What was on that menu? How was it? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you can tap my picture up above, and you can also check out my previous video right over there in all of my social media platforms. All listed down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.